Hello and welcome to Java Games Programming. I'm your host Zan from Zan's Gaming, and in this tutorial we'll be going over hash maps, which you may recall from our game of Snakes and Ladders where we used it to store player positions. So let's get started. A hash map functions as follows. It stores a set of key value pairs where the entries are indexed by their keys, and it does not maintain order like we've seen in array lists or arrays. And what I actually mean by these two, we'll see it when we go over the code. And in order to understand these concepts, we'll be going over these methods here. So the put method, which essentially adds a key value pair to your map. The get method, which returns the corresponding value for the given key. The key set method, which just returns the set of keys that are in the hash map. A contains key method, which returns true if the key is contained in the hash map, otherwise returns false. Values method, which just returns a collection of the values that we have in the hash map. The size method, which returns the number of entries in the map. Remove method, which given a key removes that key value pair from the map. And an isEmpty method, which returns true if the map does not have any key value pairs or any entries, otherwise it returns false. So let's take a look at the code. Just going to maximize this right here. So in order to work with this example, I've created 5 person objects we have right here, and each person has a name and age field, but this isn't really important for our purposes. We generate a hash map here. So this is the syntax for initializing a hash map. So we give it the class name, we give it, and then within these triangle parentheses, we give it the key type here, and then the value type. And then when we initialize the map, so again, key type, value type. So in our case, a person object is a key, and the value itself is a string. And to do a put method, so in order to add entries, we do it as such. So we do map.put. P1 is our key here. So once again, it's a person object, and then our string value here, which is in this case hello. So we have hello world, welcome to Java Games Programming. And then we have our keys P1, P2, P3, P4, P5 in this order. Now, as I mentioned, this does not maintain order as we have seen in lists. So in the list, if you were to print out these values, we would expect to be hello world, welcome to Java Games Programming. But in map, if you actually work with the key set, it does not necessarily return in this order. So just to try it out, it's going to come up here. So just these 2 lines here. So we have our desired order is hello world, welcome to Java Games Programming. And this is where we have manually ordered these print statements right here. So we have ordered P1, P2, P3, P4, P5. But for the second one, where we actually use the key set order, we see welcome, Java Games Programming, hello world 2. So we know we can actually compare these two are ordered right here. So welcome is actually P3, Java Games Programming is P5 right here. Hello is P1, world is P2, and the word 2 is P4. So this was based on our key set ordering. So we saw the desired order, which is right here, and then our key set order, which is right here. So we just iterate through the key set and then just print the value for the given key. Next up, we have the contains key method. So as we know, we have ordered, we did put P1 in the list. So we have rather P1 in the map. And then we can just do map.contains P1. And then if we can also check if, let's say we create a new person object, P6, and then we also want to see, does the map contain this P6? We know it shouldn't because we haven't added it. So I'm going to continue back up here. So it contains key. So does the map contain P1? True. Does the map contain P6? False, because we never added P6 to the map. Going back to the code. The values method, so it kind of works like this. So map.values, it returns a collection of our values. So this type here has to match whatever our value type was. And once again, we can print it. And let's see what we get here. Just to print it up here. So welcome, Java Games Programming, hello world 2. So this is the order that we saw for our key set. And it's not the desired order or the initial order that we put this in. So this is what we're meaning by it does not maintain the indexed order as you see in arrays or array lists. The size method, fairly straightforward. It returns the number of values we have in the map. So down here, so our size is 5, and that's because we have P1, P2, P3, P4, P5. And then remove actually removes the key value pair from your map. So we can do map.remove P1, and it actually returns the value that was associated with this key and removes it from the map. So, and then we do P3 and P6, and then we also see, well, we can remove P3 because that's in the map, but we can't really remove P6 because that was never in the map in the first place. So it returns null in this case. Now we can check that the new size after removing 2 of these values, the new size is 3. Next up we have the isEmpty method. So we want to see at this point when the map is not empty, we want to see we just call the isEmpty map method, and this case returns false. Now when we remove the remaining 3 values and we call isEmpty again, is the map empty now? Well, yes, that's true now because the map does not have any more entries remaining. Last but not least, we have, going back to the put method, it actually has a return value. And what it returns is the value of the previous value that was stored with the initial key. So when we do put P1, so recall at this point that the map is empty. So when we do put P1, there is no value associated with it, and then we put we put the value P1 and hello in the map, and see what the return value is. In this case, it's null because there was nothing stored with the key P1 at this moment. But then we update the P1 value, so we do map.put P1 again, but we change the value here to world, and when we actually print this, we get the value hello here, and that's because hello was the value stored with P1 as the key just right now. And then when we do a checkup on it, so when we do the get for P1, we get the new updated value, which is world. So here we have a very brief overview of hash maps. It does provide additional functionalities, but for a beginner's level, I believe this is good enough for us to use. The intuition behind using maps instead of arrays is where you actually do have some sort of key value pair information, and indexing just by ordering doesn't work. So in our case, when we have snakes and ladders, we had our players as our keys and our player position as our values, in which case the map was really helpful. If we had it in some other kind of order, so let's say if we had it in some kind of list or in some kind of array, we would have to iterate through the array trying to find the appropriate player and then trying to find their position. However, in this case, we simply provide the player as our key and get the position as the value. And here we have simple introduction to hash maps. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please do leave a subscribe and a thumbs up. See you next time.